All right, very excited to be joined by Canon Bryan, director of Syntholene and man of many talents. I'm Dan Sutton, the CEO, and we're proud to announce that Canon's joining our board of directors. He's a longtime supporter of Syntholene, and his credentials and track record add huge credibility to the story. Welcome, Canon.
Thanks, Dan. Great to be here.
Why don't we start with just a brief background on your professional experience? I know you're highly credentialed and exceptionally intellectual. Tell us more about the path that led you here.
Well, thanks. Yes, I've been in the finance industry for over 30 years now, and which is sort of frightening to think about, but I've been acting as an entrepreneur for over 20 of those years now, and founding companies, starting companies, and taking them, building them up from nothing and taking them public. So I typically, if I found a company, I will act as the financial officer of that company, perhaps. That's typically the case. And I have founded three companies that have basically come to fruition. And I have now working with you on Syntholene and another company as well that in the works. But I've been supporting or leading the financing of these companies to the tune of over $1.5 billion, including equity financing, government loans, and government grants.
Very good. Do you mind telling us just a little bit more about those three companies?
Yeah, of course. So first company I co-founded in 2004, this company called Uranium Energy Corp. Is now the largest uranium mining company in the U.S. by far, by market cap, by reserves, and by asset value. It has a market cap of over $6 billion, $7 billion now. So that was very successful. But I can't take all of that credit. Of course, I was only there from 2004 at the beginning to around 2009. Second company is a company called NioCorp, which I discovered the asset in Nebraska, got it funded it into a public company. It's now trading on NASDAQ and recently achieved a market cap of over $1 billion as well. And the third one, which I spent most of the last 15 years of my life on, which is terrestrial energies, developing advanced nuclear small modular reactor technology. And that recently went public on NASDAQ through a de-SPAC transaction, raising over $300 million. The company previously raised over $200 million privately and achieved a $1 billion government loan guarantee from the U.S. Department of Energy Loan Programs Office. And so, of course, I was supporting all of those fundraising efforts along the way. And the company went public on October 29th and had a initial market cap of $2.4 billion. So that's three companies achieving over $1 billion valuations. So that's obviously pretty happy with that, and I think many of my investors might be as well.
Very good. Exceptionally rare, likely singular, to hear of a serial entrepreneur with that kind of a track record. So congratulations to you. Interested in what led you to the topic of synthetic fuel?
Yes, well, good question. I mean, it was really an offshoot of advanced nuclear technology. So the nuclear technology that we're developing, terrestrial energy, is very much tied to this because the technology is a high temperature reactor system. So the temperatures that are achieved by the terrestrial energy reactor system are around 700 C. And so we realized at some point in our work with Idaho National Labs that you could use high temperature thermal power directly for many industrial processes, including chemical processing. And that's what synthetic fuel is all about. So it really didn't take much of an intellectual leap to get from high temperature thermal power and chemical processing to hey, we can make synthetic fuels, which we've known about. We've known how to make synthetic fuels for over 100 years. There's no mystery there. But they've never been economic, nor have they been particularly environmentally useful, because you sort of had to burn more. You had to burn more fuel than you can actually produce. So it really never really made any sense. But if you have a low cost, high temperature energy input that you can use to do the chemical processing for these synthetic fuels, okay, then you have a recipe for potentially having economic synthetic fuel production. So that was the genesis of it. I caught onto the story at around 2016 or so, and then just followed along the work that was being done by the Idaho National Labs, and ultimately decided, well, we should make a company about this someday. and now here you are, Dan, with Syntholene Energy. And so my dream has finally been realized.
And here we are. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me as a director on this wild and crazy ship, but it sure is an exciting prospect. When it comes to the merits of industrial heat as an input to these systems, whether it be through nuclear or in our initial deployment using high temperature geothermal, why is thermal energy or heat energy such a significant part of this puzzle?
Yes, well, it certainly is. And a lot of people don't realize this, but the energy that most people are familiar with today is electric energy, electric power, or electricity. And the way that electric power is created is by first generating thermal power and then converting that into electric power. And it's not very efficient to do that. In fact, you lose a lot of the energy through waste heat, which is not able to be captured in the process to make electric power. So it was never a very good calculus. But if there was a technology or a system, a hydrogen production system that could use thermal power directly, then that would really change the formula, because then you can use a high temperature thermal power source, such as high temperature nuclear or high temperature geothermal, which Syntholene is using in this case, and you could really avoid a lot of the middlemen in the transaction, in the energy transaction, for converting energy into hydrogen. Or that's a very crude way of putting it, but ultimately that's what you're trying to achieve. And the more direct you can make that process, in other words, the fewer steps that you can have in that energy conversion process, the more economic it's going to be.
Amazing. So when it comes to the economic production of hydrogen, which is a key feedstock into fuel synthesis and various other chemical synthesis, but fuel synthesis is the topic we're most interested in, when do you think the kind of energy sources paired with high efficiency, high temperature electrolysis, how long do you think it will take to deliver cost competition with fossil fuels?
Well, if one assumes a low cost of thermal power, then there's nothing prohibiting that from happening today, this very minute. There are no limitations, because all that's required is really a low cost thermal power source and a high temperature electrolysis system. And the high temperature electrolysis systems now exist. They're on the commercial market. 10 years ago, they were just kind of an idea, but now it's a commercial reality. These products are available. There are many companies around the world that are selling these gear. So there's really nothing to prevent someone from accessing low-cost, high-temperature thermal power, plugging it directly into a high-temperature electrolysis kit, and producing low-cost hydrogen. And yes, of course, low-cost hydrogen is the key fundamental, rudimentary ingredient for cost-competitive synthetic fuel. So I think we're there now, and I think what Syntholene is doing to leverage all of these new technologies and some very old technologies as well, high temperature geothermal, which is just simply not in use, or otherwise stranded assets like high temperature geothermal in a place like Iceland, for example. It's a perfect marriage, and it can really cause the acceleration of these technologies to reach the marketplace right away.
Amazing. Well, as exciting as it is daunting to the operators who must deliver this for the sake of the future of multi-generational clean fuel abundance, but very lucky to call you a teammate on this journey, Canon, and thanks so much for stepping up as a director.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm very excited for the journey, and I think we're onto something really special here that's going to change the world.